What are some early signs that you're not doing well? How could other people tell? People that know you well. What are those early signs that you're not doing well? And this is not when you're in a crisis. This is pre-crisis. Let's talk for just a minute before you're in crisis. When I'm talking crisis, not able to get up and go to work, you're starting to miss work, you're starting to miss family events, you are completely isolating at that point, almost entirely. You're not responding to phone calls, you're not making it to work, you're not taking care of responsibilities. That's crisis, just to clarify. So what I'm asking you are, what are some of the early signs that you're starting to spin? I also like to talk about it relationally. What are some early signs that you are wandering from your relationships? Early signs that you are looking around. Do you stop answering phone calls? Do you start calling people more often? Do you become more quiet in social settings, like more anxious and quiet? Suddenly you don't feel comfortable talking to people. Are you tearful or more easily triggered? Where you would usually be calm and assertive, and man, you just can't handle it. And another big one, let me know if any of you guys do this as well. You stop doing things that you enjoy, almost as a form of self-sabotage. One thing that often happens, and that's also in intimate relationships too. When we're not doing well, suddenly I'm starting to look around and I'm really seeking affection and validation from other men. It also happens in friendships and family relationships. Suddenly I'm avoiding the people that I'm close with, and I'm having trouble setting boundaries, but also communicating with them, and I'm spending a lot more time kind of outside my circle. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's avoidance. So the next question is, who are the people in your life, not that just notice and would be capable of noticing when you're not doing well? Who are the people that you can talk to? Who are the people that you would be safe talking to? And that doesn't mean they necessarily respond the way you'd want them to, but who are the people that you can talk to and you would feel safe talking to? Because we have to teach them how to help us. Who would you know would have your best interest at heart? Who you would trust with information and you don't have to be concerned it would be used against you? This is a hard one. Many of us actually don't have very many of these. If we have one or two, it's hard to find these people in our life. Certain people that you could talk to that you would feel safe with. And who are those people? List those people out. And if you were having trouble and that person knew about it, I want you to think of it this way. Could they call this other person and you would be safe with them doing that? Like if I was truly having a hard time and my sister noticed I was having a hard time, I would be completely okay with her calling my other sister, because I know that I can trust them. They hold my confidence. They would look out for my best interest, and they would also still let me take the lead, and they wouldn't try to walk all over me. I would not want them calling my mother. What is it that those people, and this is what's important, we're going to have to start teaching them this. And we have to do it in gentle ways. And sometimes we can do it on the front end. I've actually told a couple of friends, sometimes I'm having a really hard time. And if you notice that I isolate and I don't call you back for a while, or I kind of disappear, can you check on me? Because that's a sign I might not be doing so well. And they do. And it's great. And what's also great is I'm telling them what I need from them. So what can those people do that helps you? I've gone through this with my husband. Are you the person that wants to process and focus on solutions with that person? You need that person to help you come up with solutions to your problem? Or are you needing them to just sit and listen and empathize with you? What do you prefer to have from that person? Some people feel like if that person just sits and listens, they're like, what the hell? You're not helping with anything. And it's frustrating. Others feel the opposite. That person keeps coming up with solutions. You're like, geez, I just need you to listen, you know? And so what is it that you're needing? What are you wanting from that person when you're seeking some support? How can they give you support so that you're able to receive it and it actually feel helpful? Oh, one last thing. Do you like to be hugged or touched, or do you prefer to have space when you're having a hard time? This is a big one. Some of us just need a big old hug. We need someone to hold us and to pet us and to comfort us. And so what's really important is that you're able to to communicate your comfort level with these people that you've put on this list, and you can let them know what you need. And it doesn't have to be, don't hug me, you know, or why don't you give me a hug? To be able to say, it really helps me when you just sit and listen and don't try to come up with solutions. It really helps me when you just distract me and we can do something silly and random and I don't have to, you help me get my mind off these things. It really helps me when you wrap your arms around me and just give me a big hug. I just need to be reassured. Another important thing, being able to say I need space until I'm ready, and then I'll give you a hug, or I'll tell you I need a hug. To be able to communicate, I could really use a hug now. I need some space, but I can hug you later. And then the last, and I think this is one of the most important things, when you're having a hard time, who do you not need to be around? Who does not help you, and how can you set up those boundaries? Because it is your responsibility to do that. If you are having a really hard time and then you've got a birthday party that you feel obligated to go to, are you in the right space to go to that birthday party? Who do you need space from, and how can you communicate that? And so I think it's important that we communicate that with those people who are in our lifeline. That, hey, these are some people that you would probably feel like you should call or might call you to ask about how I'm doing. I'd prefer you say this, this, and this to them. Or I'd prefer you not respond to the phone calls, or I'd prefer that you not let them know about that any of this is going on until I've given you the okay. I hope that was helpful today. What helps, what doesn't help, who doesn't help, and what are you like when you're well? What are you like when you're starting to not be so well? And how can other people catch it? How would you like them to respond when that happens? Who would you like them to communicate with? Who would you like them to not communicate with? And yeah, that's the big stuff. So I hope that was helpful and informative. You guys have a great night.